Now we're going to cut some flat keys using the key machine, and let's take a look at the machine. This particular machine that I got in front of me right here is a small Yale, and it's been modified. We're going to give you the names of the different parts. This is called the carriage. These are the jaws for clamping the keys in. This is the key gauge for lining the keys up so that they cut accurately. This is your key dog here. This lines up on your original cut key. And over here you have your cutter. This cuts your grooves in your key. Now let me show you how to set a key in here properly. We'll bring the key gauge down. Catch on your shoulder your key right here. This is what it should look like if it's properly set up. You should be touching the shoulder of the key gauge and the shoulder of the key. The key should also be flat in your carriage on the bottom here. Before you clamp it in tight, make sure it's flat, straight, and against your shoulder here. On the other side, same thing. Make sure your key's straight, flat, and up against the shoulder, and clamped in tight. If this is not clamped in tight, your key will move on the shoulder here and here, and it'll throw off the key when you cut it. It will be cut incorrectly. You want to make sure that these things, when you hand them to the customer, that they'll work. Okay, now we're going to move the key gauge up away from the keys. And to cut the key, you would come with the carriage up against your copy dog. What happens is you have your key dog or copy dog here at the end, and it's up against the shoulder of your key, and the cutter is up against the shoulder of the key here. This will give you an accurate key cut when you're done. You want to be sure when you're bringing your carriage up that the key contacts the copy dog and the cutter at the same time. If there's any wear in the machine, you're going to have to make adjustments, or if you change blades, you're going to have to make adjustments to the copy dog. You need to make sure that these touch at the same time so you get an accurate cut on the key. Now that you know how the key machine works and how it's set up, we're going to take these keys out, we're going to put some flat keys in, and we're going to show you how to set those up and why. Take your two flat keys, you want your key that you're copying, you put it in, make sure it's held flat, and you want to leave enough room in the end over here so that the copy dog will fit in. Why this is that your key gauge will not reference off of these particular flat keys, and there's no means of getting in here and getting an accurate reference when you're cutting. So what we're going to do, we're going to use the copy dog and the cutter as the two reference points on the keys. We're going to show you how to do that. What we've done here, we've lined the back part of the key blank up with the copy dog and the back side of the cutting blade with the key that we're going to cut. Make sure that the back side of the key is touching the cutter and also the copy dog, and then clamp your key tightly in. Check, make sure that they're both touching, the copy dog and the cutter. Then we can begin to cut this key. Now we're going to turn the machine on, but first you always want to remember to wear your safety glasses. Turn the machine on. Come up, we're going to make slow, deliberate cuts. See how I went in fast? It slowed the machine down, so you want to make it slow and easy. This machine doesn't have much power. And our next cut. This particular machine here can be modified to where it'll run in a van off a 12 volt by changing the motor to a 12 volt motor, which makes it kind of convenient that you can cut keys on the job or out on a service call. Slow, easy cuts. We're cutting quite a bit of metal on this last cut here. I always run the machine backwards and forwards when I've got a long space here. It makes it a little smoother cut. Go over the whole key again, make sure I got all the cuts in there. Turn our machine off. Take our duplicated key out. And what we're going to do is take a file and we're going to dress the rough edges. Just a couple passes. Just to get the filings off and smooth off the edges a little bit. Don't want anybody to get cut or hurt. There you go. That was a lot easier, a lot quicker than hand filing. And if we did it right, it should open our lockup. There you go. Anybody need a padlock with about 6 or 7 keys made for it? We've got one here. They all work perfect.